All right, so in this problem we're given the equation of a circle, and we want to find the radius of this circle. So here I wrote for you the general form for the equation of a circle, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. X and y are of course just x and y. H and k are the x and y coordinates of the center of the circle. So if you had a circle with center like 1, 2, it would be x minus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared. And r squared, of course, r just represents your radius. So we want to basically get our equation into this form, and then we'll know the radius. It is not in this form right now, and basically this whole problem is just about getting it into the form, and then it's easy to see the radius from there. So I just in this equation right here, I just reorganized the terms to sort of group the x's together and y's together. And how you actually get it in this form is by completing the square. If you remember, completing the square will always give you a squared kind of a single squared factor like this. And so what you want to do is you want to complete the square for the x and the y. So let me show you how that'll be done. So completing the square, remember we divide our b term by 2. Our b term is the term with just one variable that's not squared. We take its coefficient, we divide the coefficient by 2, and then square it. And then whatever we get, we add that number to both sides. So let me show you. So here, for the x, we see that our sort of b coefficient is 4. We're going to divide 4 by 2. So 4 over 2, that's equal to 2. And then we're going to square that. So 2 squared, we get 4 again. That's not always going to happen. That's just a coincidence. So we're now going to do, x squared plus 4x. And so now what you're going to do is, like I said, add this number that you get to both sides of the equation. So plus 4 plus y squared minus 2y equal to, negative 1 plus 4, so 3. Again, we haven't changed the equation. We added the same number to both sides. This is still equal, but the point of doing that was that we now got this into a form that we can turn it into just one squared factor. Because what's this equal to? How do you factor that? That's equal to x plus 2 squared, right? So then you have that plus y squared minus 2y equal to 3. Again, I haven't changed the value of the equation. I've just, factored that to convert it into closer to a general form. Now, for the y, we do the exact same thing. We take our b term, negative 2 over 2, it's equal to negative 1. Negative 1 squared is equal to positive 1. So we're now just going to, for the y, we're going to add a positive 1 to both sides of the equation. So plus 1, and then 3 plus 1, so 4. Okay? Now we're going to do the same sort of thing with the y. We're going to factor it to get this. So that becomes x plus 2 squared plus, what's that going to be? Y minus 1 squared is equal to 4. So now we have this thing, we have this equation in the same form as the general, right? So in this case, actually, negative 2 and positive 1, like this, negative 2 comma 1 is the center of this circle, but that's not really what's important. What's important is the radius. Remember that this thing right here is equal to r squared, right? So this is r squared, which means how do you find r? Well, if r squared is equal to r4, then r is equal to, take the square root of both sides, plus or minus 2, but again, you can't have a negative radius, so r is just equal to 2, and that is A.